Coming up, we have stories about crashing out on a partner, tensions between spouse and childhood friends, puzzling family traditions, unwelcome wake-ups, +1 wedding drama, disagreements over roles in the house, and all the spicy stories, petty revenge, and cake stories you can get your mouth around. Came out weird. You know what I mean. I, 30 female, crashed out on my long-term boyfriend, 31 male this weekend, and I feel that I ruined the relationship. My boyfriend, 31 male, and I, 30 female, have been together for 11 years with a short breakup last year. We had our issues mainly around feeling stuck and my struggling with insecurity and control. I used to get upset when he went out without me and did not let him go out without friends most of our relationship, even though he never stopped me from doing my own thing. We've since gotten back together and things have been improving. We're both stable in our careers, talking about moving in, engagement, and we have a trip to Greece in 6 weeks to visit his family. Lately, he's been going out more with his new friends, mostly to raves, DJ events that are not really my cup of tea. He invites me, I decline, and then I spiral. I blow up his phone, accuse him of cheating, demand reassurance, and basically panic whenever he's not with me.
That's not great.
Is this like up the anxious attachment alley here? It kind of seems like it might be. Over the 4th of July weekend, I was out of town visiting family. He stayed behind and kept in touch, sending pics and videos of him and his friends, checking in, etc. But I still freaked out, called him 45 times and made a bunch of accusations. I just want to take a time out to remind everybody that he has stuck with this for 11 years. He got really upset. I apologized and he continued to text with me until I landed back home this morning. Once I landed, he asked if I wanted to go to the beach with him, so I did. He was also out all weekend and actually was hanging out with this new friend all night and into the morning, but still asked to go to the beach with him. Before we drove to the beach, he told me to save my apologies because I keep saying sorry and my actions don't change. He said he loves me and wants to stay together, but he's starting to feel resentful. After 11 years, he wants space to have his own friends and identity without being punished for it. He teared up when we talked and said he doesn't want to break up. He still wants to go to Greece with me, but he also doesn't know how to help me with my obsessiveness and insecurities anymore. My behavior makes him want to break up with me and be single and enjoy going out versus the treatment I've been giving him. I feel like I royally messed up everything within days. I don't want to lose him, but I know I've created a dynamic where I'm clinging so tightly that I'm choking the relationship and pushing him far away. Can I come back from this? All right, that's an interesting question. Can I come back from this? So, can OP come back from this? Can OP come back from this?
If she gets a really good therapist, because this is not okay. This is not okay to do to your partner. You either trust them or you don't. But you've made, what was her age again?
Sorry, I was starting to panic moonwalk away.
30s.
Yeah, 31 and 30. OP is 30.
Yeah, this is not, in my opinion, this is not okay. Not something I would stick around for, to be accused of cheating when you've done nothing wrong. And then you guys broke up and got back together and things were supposed to have changed. And now you're doing the same exact thing. I think calling 45 times over a weekend is too much. Like that, the pressure that other person must feel is too much. And I think that's why he's becoming resentful. And like, that's great communication to tell her these things, but girl, you gotta check yourself and know that what you're doing is not okay, and go to therapy to figure out why you feel this way, why you're using these actions, instead of just taking this all out on your partner, because this is a one-way track to not having a successful relationship ever.
Yeah. And, general chat sentiment here is, look, if there's going to be real change, this is going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time. And it is the onus is on you, OP, to get this done. Now, you have a partner that has some real emotional maturity and has put up with a lot thus far, is reaching a breaking point, but I imagine would still be willing to walk through this fire with you and be your partner through that. Probably only willing to be your partner through this positive change, not to sit in this anymore, right? And either OP went through, got burned really bad previously, and this is like a trauma response, or...
that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, her trauma is hers to figure out with her therapist why whatever the actions, whatever trauma brings that action doesn't matter except to her and her therapist, where she needs to work through that. But she really, really needs to work through that, because this is not a normal response to going out of town for the weekend or for your partner going out with friends.
Yep.
And like it's just not okay. This is not okay to do to another human.
Will I be the astronaut for selling my car, which my daughter uses? Years ago, before the pandemic, I bought a 90s Mercedes. It looked good, but had a few mechanical issues. I thought it would be a fun project car and a way to teach myself more about cars. But between work and house responsibilities, I never found the time. My wife has already been on my case about how little time I had for chores, and I didn't want to give her another reason to nag me. When my daughter was 16, she went through this phase where she was really into showing she could do guy stuff while still being feminine. She still kind of has that vibe. She did a physics and math degree, then a PhD, and now she's doing a postdoc. At the same time, she was begging us for a car, and I said no at first, but eventually said that she could try fixing up the Mercedes and use it if she got it working. I was skeptical. The car wasn't worth much, and I figured she'd probably make it worse, but she ended up doing a great job. It took her around 8 months. She had some outside help and a few custom parts made, imported some others, and eventually paid to have it professionally painted and detailed. Since then, it's been her main car. It has a lot of miles on it now, but it still runs great. Recently, I noticed how much the value of those models has gone up, especially post-pandemic. I decided to list it and already have several strong offers. I never transferred the title to her, and she was living at home rent-free until her first degree and using the car rent-free all these years. I offered to pay her back for the paint job since that was her biggest expense. She's upset and says it's not about the money, it's sentimental. I get that, and I'm not trying to be cold, but it's still just an old car at the end of the day. It could get rear-ended tomorrow by some girl on her phone not paying attention. It happened to me. Luckily, there was no damage. I think keeping it as a daily driver is just throwing money away when I could get real value for it now. She's also no longer a teen and has had an income ever since she started her PhD. She worked for the university in addition to her studies like tutoring, lecturing, etc. Am I the astronaut?
Yeah. 100%.
We were wrong. So wait, here's where it gets sticky, right? He said, at the time she was begging us for a car, and I said no at first, but eventually said she could try fixing up the Mercedes and use it if she got it working. Well, she ended up investing like
100%.
a ton of time and money into this vehicle. So
this is you would be the asshole.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. This is an asshole thing to do. I mean, look,
bad behavior. Go stand in the corner and think about what you did.
I think at minimum, this should be something that if you had an interest in selling it, talk to her about it. Be like, hey, are you open to this? Let's split it because it's worth a lot more now. Like, you bought the initial car. Yeah, you have an investment in this as well, but so does she. Like, she has an investment in this too. You legally own it because you have the title. But morally,
yeah, there you go.
It's a different issue. And that's at max. I would ask if she has an interest in selling it as well, and you guys can split it. But the way that you went about this essentially stole from your child. Not just monetary value, but emotional value as well. And I think that makes you, a definite astronaut.
Ask on one for me. Like, he didn't even have the conversation. He didn't even.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, grow a pair and talk to his child. He just listed it. And now it's like, well, she's throwing a fit. So, yeah, 100%. You're the asshole.
Oh, my gosh. Yoko, that's such a violation of all her labor and dedication to fixing that car. Shame, shame. I agree. It's an ASCOM one. This is just a shitty person.
This is like a 100% shitty person, and also like put a ding in the relationship because like this was such an asshole thing to do without a conversation that I wouldn't trust him in the future. And also, like, he's just like going to pay her for the paint, not all the time, effort, and energy that she put into it.
Not even all the other expenses. Like,
right.
He just chose the biggest expense. He's like, I'm going to.
Yeah, I'll reimburse you for that. Not, I'll give you enough to buy another car or what.
He's treating her education and career as a tomboy fad. He doesn't care about her. I'm glad you mentioned this because looking back at it, he didn't include her education as a tomboy fad. And use that to judge against her, basically. Like that's different. Am Am I the astronaut for telling my wife my childhood friend will never forgive her for what she did? My wife, 32 female, and I, 34 male, have been married for 6 years, together for 10. We have a 4-year-old son. A few years ago, my close childhood friend, 34 female, got married. We've been extremely close since we were kids. Both our families were dysfunctional in different ways. At one point, my dad cheated on my mom with her mom. They got married, divorced a year later, and we basically ended up abandoned by both sides. Through all that, we became really close with each other. She even has 2 tattoos that relate to our bond. I would have gotten a tattoo too, but I'm sort of scared of needles. My wife was actually close to my friend too, and never showed signs of being insecure about our friendship until postpartum hit. After our son was born, she really struggled. Her emotions were all over the place, and she became extremely insecure about my relationship with my friend. I was supposed to be the man of honor at my friend's wedding, help plan things, and be a big part of the ceremony, but my wife was so anxious and uncomfortable, she begged me not to attend. It made me really sad, but I chose my wife. I told my friend I couldn't go and told her why. She was really hurt by it. Not angry, just really sad, but said she understood. A couple of months later, my wife fully recovered and apologized, both to me and my friend. I forgave her. My friend, however, did not. When my wife reached out to my friend to apologize, my friend was polite but direct. She said she never wanted to speak to her again. She didn't yell or make a scene, she just drew a boundary. Honestly, I get it. It was a once-in-a-lifetime day, and she leaned on me for years, and I bailed. I still feel guilty about it. My friend and I still talk regularly, nothing inappropriate, we're just close, always have been. Recently, my wife asked if there was any chance my friend would forgive her. I told her the truth. No, that ship sailed. My wife got sort of quiet and looked sad, but hasn't brought it up again. But I wonder if I was too blunt. Am I the astronaut for not giving my wife hope and just telling her forgiveness probably isn't happening? What do you mean, are you the asshole for telling her the truth? I don't think so. The postpartum part of this, obviously, we can't speak for the friend here. We can't be like, the friend had a boundary, and the friend isn't being petty about this. It's just like, no, that was an unforgivable, and I can't forgive you.
She has every right to feel that way. And I don't think the wife, I think she sees the error of her ways now and is trying to right her wrongs. But you're still responsible for what you did, even though you were in the postpartum era that you were in. You're still responsible for your actions, and her actions were to not allow her husband to go to that. And so I feel like, this is a tough one, because I do feel for women in postpartum, especially, first time moms who don't know what they're about to experience. And I do feel like she should have definitely gotten help so that she could have seen that her actions were not her. But at the same time, we are still responsible for our actions, no matter what the cause of those actions are.
Absolutely.
And I feel like she is going through that right now. But I will say that I do have hope that maybe the friend in the future can. But if she doesn't forgive, that is her right to not forgive. The husband forgave, and they're moving forward. But I don't know. This one's kind of sad.
She's not mad at him. She still talks to him.
It's weird.
She still talks to him. This is directly angled at the wife, and that it makes sense. It almost feels like so a story we read a moment ago about how OP called her boyfriend 45 times because she has no control there. She's dealt with that for a good portion of her life. Imagine feeling all of that just right after having a kid.
That's 100%.
And
it's hard.
Not knowing how to process it. It feels like at this point we should have some kind of standard therapy that's provided post childbirth.
I think
because
it should be
it's so common, right?
Pre-childbirth, so
pre-childbirth,
that you know that what you're getting into. Because I don't think, and again, some women ace through postpartum and have no issues. Some women do not. Some women have it with one baby, not with the next.
Right.
And so I think if I'm the friend in this position, I'm going to forgive, because I know that's not her. I know that's not who she really is. And I know what she did was over the line, way shitty. It was. But at the same time, I know that's not my friend. I know that's not my best friend's husband or my best friend's wife. I know that's not who she really is. I know that she was going through
at the time when the hurt was given.
Yes,
right?
100%. Yeah. And I would choose to forgive, but that's me and that's my choice. And, the friend made her choice. So
there's another side of it here where, OP's wife obviously understands that she oopsie daisied, right? She understands that she caused hurt. She apologized for it once she fully recovered. Do you feel like an apology is enough? I don't feel like a simple apology is enough for this. It's like, yes, I understood that I caused some hurt.
I think
there's got to be some work involved.
As someone who has gone through postpartum depression with my first, I'd forgive with a simple apology, because I get it, girl. It's hard, and you're in it, and you don't realize you're in it until you're out of it. And I would choose to forgive, but that's up to the person who was wronged.
Yeah. Title of this one is Neighbor Kept Accidentally Blowing His Leaves into My Yard, so I gave him a seasonal surprise. I live in a quiet neighborhood with mostly lovely people, but there's always one, right? Mine is Dave. Dave is the kind of neighbor who thinks property lines are more of a suggestion. Every fall, without fail, he fires up his industrial-strength leaf blower, I swear it sounds like a jet engine, and cleans his yard by blowing every single leaf directly into mine. It's not subtle either. I've caught him standing there, hands on his hips, watching the leaves tumble across like he's conducting some kind of foliage symphony. I asked him nicely to stop. I offered to split a yard service. His response, "Relax, it's just leaves. You can't own the wind, sweetheart."
He does own the wind.
Wow. Okay, Dave, game on. Here's where the petty revenge comes in. Dave, in all of his tacky glory, also loves inflatable lawn decorations. At Halloween, he had a massive inflatable ghost. At Christmas, a 10-foot tall Santa. And in early spring, a giant Easter bunny holding an egg, lit up like Times Square every night. Last year, during leaf season, I spent days raking and bagging the leaves he donated to my yard. I had about 6 huge trash bags full. One night, I got an idea. When the Easter bunny went up a few months later, I waited for a calm evening. Then, under cover of darkness, I carefully unzipped the inflatable bunny, stuffed it with every single bag of Dave's own leaves, zipped it back up, and staked it down again. The next night, Dave turned it on. The bunny tried valiantly to rise, but now it was bloated. Horrifying mutant rabbits! Its LED eyes flickered in panic as it leaned precariously to one side under the sheer weight of 50 gallons of dead foliage. Dave came outside confused and prodded it a few times. Then he had to deflate his entire thing and spent over an hour pulling the leaves out of his giant glowing nightmare. As an added bonus, the wind helpfully carried the loose leaves right back across his yard. This fall, Dave bought himself a rake. No leaf blower, not a single leaf has made it into my yard. Mission accomplished. Very nice work. Very, very nice work, OP. Very, very nice work. I was hoping what would happen when you filled up the rabbit with leaves was that it was going to and then just explode, and then all of his leaves would just kind of explode all over his yard, right? I could see that.
Yeah, it turned it into like the rabbit from the Five Nights at Freddy's or whatever.
Yeah.
The scary looking rabbit.
Yeah.
This is there's a special place for people that blow their grass into the road, or blow their leaves into the road. Like not my problem anymore. It's off my property. I don't have to deal with it.
You could actually get a citation for blowing your grass into the road because it's slick. It can cause accidents. Yeah. So, did you know? The more you know. Am I the astronaut for serving my sister a custom birthday cake after she threw a tantrum about my baking? Hey, Dusty and crew, I love listening to the stories you read, so I thought I would share my own AITA story with you. Prepare yourself, it involves cake. So I, 28 female, have a small side hustle baking cakes. Nothing crazy, just friends, family, and a few word-of-mouth referrals. My sister Claire, 33 female, has always been kind of extra. She likes things a certain way, and if they're not that way, she will let everyone know. Last week, Claire asked me to make her birthday cake. She sent me a Pinterest board with at least 50 options, all pastel, floral, intricate. She specifically said, it needs to be perfect. No pressure, though. That's Claire speak for all the pressure. I love that. I'm gonna take that line, too. It needs to be perfect. No pressure, though. I agreed and spent 8 hours making this stunning 3-tier lemon cake with edible flowers. When I showed her a pic the night before, she said, and I quote, "Oh, that's cute." But don't you think it's a little amateurish? I mean, I want my guests to be wowed. Can you redo it? Maybe something more elevated? Bitch! I told her no, because I had already spent a whole day on it. I'm not a Michelin star pastry chef. I'm her sister. She was paying me nothing, by the way. She threw a fit and said if I wouldn't redo it, then don't bother bringing your little practice cake at all. Bitch! So I didn't. Instead, I showed up to her party where she had purchased a bland grocery store sheet cake, like plain white with "Happy Birthday, Claire" and Comic Sans blue frosting, but I didn't come empty-handed. I brought my cake, except I had added one small modification. I frosted the words, "This could have been so much prettier. Love, your amateur sister," in bright red icing across the top tier. I set it down right next to the sheet cake. Cue chaos. Guests started gravitating toward my cake because 1, it was obviously way prettier, and 2, the passive-aggressive message was the whole conversation starter. People kept taking pics and whispering. Some even refused the grocery store cake entirely and ate mine instead. Claire lost it. She called me a petty child, accused me of ruining her aesthetic, and said I embarrassed her in front of her friends. I calmly reminded her that she told me not to bring the original cake, so technically, I didn't. Now my family is split. Half say Claire was rude and deserved it. The other half says I should have just let it go because birthdays are special and I made it about me. So, Dusty, am I the astronaut for bringing the cake anyway and making it custom in a petty way? You know what? No, because Bish deserved it.
You put your foot down.
You did. And
you
also,
did it on a Claire level.
You did it on a Claire level. You spoke her language. You
100%.
returned the energy, right? You mirrored here. But also, you ensured that your labor of love and flower was going to be seen and enjoyed by everybody. And that there was enough context on there for people to know what the was going on with a little bit of piping.
It's great.
That's freaking awesome.
I'm very proud of you, OP.
High five.
Also, if somebody makes you a multi-tiered cake for your birthday, you don't ask them to try harder. That's just my 2 cents. A free multi-tiered birthday cake.
Don't you think it looks a little amateurish?
Can you make better flowers? No, bitch, I can't.
Ugh. Another one of these, ladies and gentlemen. We got another spicy story for you. Title of this one is, Am I the Astronaut for Trying to Dance with My 52 Male Daughter, 28 Female, at her wedding? So my daughter, who we'll call Jane, 28 female, and I have always had a rocky relationship. I wasn't the greatest father, and I recognize that now, but I've changed. I know everyone talks shit on religion-based treatments, but I know I'm saved now and no one can tell me different. I was in a car accident where I lost a lot of feeling in my legs. After that, I swear I was reborn as a new man and promised I would do better. But after everybody else's reactions, I'm starting to feel like maybe I did do something wrong. My daughter's wedding was this past weekend, and she had her brother walk her down the aisle, which I was fine with because, I wasn't really there for her as a kid, so why would I give her away? I found out from my wife/her mom that she still planned on having a father-daughter dance at her reception, but have her father-in-law dance with her instead of me. I figured she didn't ask me because while I can walk, I can't walk far and I'm super unbalanced. So with the help of my wife, I worked on strengthening my legs in secret so I could surprise her at her wedding and dance with her. Fast forward to the reception and they announce it's time for the dance. I roll up my wheelchair to the edge of the group circling her, stand up and start walking towards her. Everyone in the room started talking and clapping around me as I made my way across the dance floor, and honestly, I was feeling really good about this until I made it like 6 feet away from her. She started shaking her head and frowning at me, but I kept walking anyway. She started shouting no and telling me to sit down, but I just couldn't believe that she was saying this. So I shouted back that I was coming to dance with her as her father. She acted all irritated and said she'd dance with me later, but now it's father-in-law's turn. I couldn't accept that, so I got closer and reached out for her hand, hoping she'd recognize I was doing this for her, when father-in-law reached out and blocked me from her by putting his hand on my chest. So this is where I might have f***ed up. I told him to back the f*** up and f*** off.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Our argument got pretty heated before some people stepped in and separated us. She told me to leave. And I said, if that's what you really want, and she said yes. So I did. I'm really struggling with this because I got a lot of dirty looks and even my son yelled at me. He said it was really selfish of me to try to dance with her at all. I'm trying to do better and listen to my kids, so maybe you all can tell me, am I the astronaut? Okay, before we go into the edit here, I want to chat about this for a second. I feel like this is something that really should have had some prior communication before you like surprise your daughter at her wedding. I don't think somebody's wedding is the time that you surprise them, right?
No.
That's not the time for surprises. You talk ahead of time.
I do not think that you should surprise a bride at her wedding.
Yeah.
And I think you definitely don't tell someone to f*** off at your daughter's wedding either, but that's just my opinion. I feel like you might be glazing over what actually happened in childhood, because if this is the reaction, brother giving her away, like you f*** some shit up. Like this is, I don't know. I feel like that we're not getting the full story or like breakdown of what actually happened to her as a child.
Edit. Okay, I'm the asshole. I clearly have my work cut out for me. I think I'll apologize to her, but I don't know what's the best way. I think she has me blocked now. And I know she's threatening to block her mom. She's so upset that our relationship is a mess. I'm calling between my son and asking him to set up some kind of meeting or going by her place and hoping she'll hear me out. I don't want to risk my wife asking and getting more shit because of this. That's the edit. Yeah, the mom is who he's married to. I mean, that's my understanding of it. That's the edit. I don't think you're getting the message, OP. I mean, based on the tone of what you're delivering here now, all caps. Okay, I'm the asshole. I know you're saying that, but I don't think you feel it yet. And even then, recognizing that you're an asshole is 10 miles away from doing something to become not the asshole, right? Like there's a lot of work to do here. And good gravy. Like just be thankful that you got to be there and witness her big day at all. It's going to be, I don't know that you can come back from this. Honestly, I don't know. Someone could come back from this. I don't know that you can come back from this in your current mindset.
Right.
Am I the astronaut? My wife was upset. I woke her up to let her know I was going to the doctor's. For the last few days, my eye has been swelling. It started light, and this morning I woke up and it was painful and swollen larger than the day before. Google researching more said that it could be a sty or an infection, or that there's an infection that is quite bad, orbital cellulitis. Since I had just gone to get my eyes checked and they used eye drops, which I am assuming they didn't clean, I kind of got worried this morning at 7:30 a.m. over coffee. Now add to all this, my parents are in town, so my mom is still upstairs sleeping, and I am sitting on the patio with my dad having a coffee. In Canada, all walk-in clinics are closed on Sunday, so I decided, I guess I have to go to the ER to get it looked at, if I have to get a prescription. So it's not the doctors, it's the ER. My wife was still sleeping, but I felt I should let her know that my eye isn't looking too good and I am going to head to an ER, since I was hoping that going to an ER ASAP would make it faster to get in and out. So I very gently woke her up and say in a whisper, I'm gonna head to the doc, my eye is pretty bad. She was kind of frustrated and said, okay, and laid back down. Time out. I just imagine this being like a scene from Trolls Band Together, where all the kids have pink eye and it's like goop like dripping. So he's like leaning over his wife and like the goop is, he's like, hey, like that's not, you'd be scared if you woke up and I was all cyclops and gooping on top of you. I went downstairs and finished my coffee before heading out, chatted about what I was going to do with my dad and prepared to leave. I got a text from her. I know pharmacists can prescribe for smaller things if you can't get into a walk-in. I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I will chill for an hour when the pharmacy opens and go. So I kept sitting on the patio to finish my coffee and wait for the time to head to the pharmacy. About 10 minutes later, my wife comes out on the patio and instantly says, you know, you shouldn't have woken me up. I wanted to sleep more. In a pretty confrontational, how dare you way in front of me and my dad. No, how are you doing? No checking in on my well-being, no empathy, just f*** you for waking me up early at 7:20 a.m. So at this point, I go into the house and she proceeds to lecture me on how she is on her period and needs sleep. She had a rough night, cramps, and I shouldn't have woken her up. I should have just texted and left. My argument was that I totally get that, but I am worried I have a bad eye infection and wanted to let her know I was going to seek treatment. And to me, all caps with stress, she should have been like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Is everything all right? She maintains that I should have never woken her up and that I was the asshole and that she is not in the wrong at all for being more worried about her sleep than my situation. Mind you, I haven't had eye issues in 30 years, so this is all new to me. I ended up going to 2 pharmacists who both came back with that it's more than likely a sty and that a hot compress is all that's needed. And she's still pissed at me and refuses to see how I see her actions as selfish and that I shouldn't be made an asshole for waking her up. That's the story. That's the story. Okay, so I kind of equate this to the man cold pandemic. Listen, buddy, first of all, keep a calendar, know what's going on with your wife's cycle, and know when to not poke the bear. Okay?
I mean, I feel like I would want you to wake me up and tell me that something was wrong, but I thrive in this kind of situation. Like, if something's wrong, I want to help you fix it. Unless it's a cold, then I'm like, shut the up and take your medicine. But if you don't know what's going on and you need help, like, I would not be offended if you woke me up and said my eye is not better. Like, I feel like I need to go to the doctor. I would have assessed the situation. And I feel like she did that.
What Candy Thunder means is when there's something gross to pick at, she thrives. So if I've got something that requires like gross examination,
but
she's
also
like,
when you have stuff that's outside of the norm of like an everyday cold, like, I do want you to get taken care of and I would want you to go see a doctor. And so I would be helping you set that up because I like that part of taking care of you.
We also have to address the goopy-eyed elephant in the room. And that is...
He just had a sty, so...
That wife here...
Which, I mean, it's painful.
Had eyes on his eyes, right? So she was able to see like how swollen it was. And by visible standards, she didn't think it was a big enough deal to be extremely concerned about. A grain of salt with that because she is in the throes of her P-Rod and felt
That's true.
really strongly about
That's very true.
her sleep here. So maybe where she's at kind of minimized what she was seeing wrong with him
For sure.
and maximized what was wrong with her.
I mean, sure, she can be annoyed that she was woken up, but to still be like pissed at him and like make this a big thing, like, I don't know. I don't see the point in it. I don't see the point in this argument.
I would have sent a message. I 100% would have sent a message and been like, I'm not going to wake her up for this. I'm going to send a message and I'm going to go.
You would have woken me up and been like, do I need to go to the doctor? And I've been like, let me see. Give me a Diet Coke and let me see.
If I knew I was going to go to the doctor already, which OP did, I would just send a message.
I don't believe that.
If it was during that
I don't believe it.
cycle time, I wouldn't have risked it. Tony Spark, you have some input here? Yes. Going back and sitting down on the porch instead of going immediately.
Look.
Yeah. So you woke her up and then hung around for an hour instead of leaving immediately. Now, she said that. The reason OP hung around for a little bit is because she said if you go to a pharmacist instead, and the pharmacy wasn't open yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I would not have been pissed in this situation, period or not. Like, it would not have bothered me if you said something was wrong. And you would have woken me up before you went to the doctor. 100%. I 100% believe that.
Hey, Dusty Thunder here, and I wanted to thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that content, and if you did, please make sure to like, subscribe, and most importantly, share. Also, you can find swag and so much more at dusty-thunder.com, and you'll find even more content on all of our platforms. We're on TikTok, YouTube. We now have an official Facebook page that we'll be posting stories to as well. We have podcasts on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and so much more. You can see all of our content platforms on Linktree, which is linked in my bio. Engage with us wherever you're enjoying content and do your best to avoid the Askonauts today. Thanks again.